All right, for this week's Rockstar Minute, I want to talk about real estate prices. We all know real estate prices around here in Southern Ontario are completely crazy, right? Or are they? Think about it for a second. Look right here. This is something I've shared with you before, actually, something I keep in my office. This is a series of banknotes from Zimbabwe in 2007, 2008. If you look at some of the denominations, they go from 1, 5, 10, 1,000 to 100 million, 5 billion, 10 trillion, all the way up to $100 trillion. Here's why this matters. Andrew Palhidis on our team walked by the office the other day, and he stopped, he paused, he looked at that. And he said, man, it's almost like that's what's happening like before our eyes right now with real estate prices, right? Not to this extent, not all the way down here with $100 trillion bills, but somewhere in here, because when you could buy a piece of real estate before, maybe using a couple $10,000 bills, you can't buy that anymore with that. You need bigger bills, right? And it should be no surprise, because this was the goal of the monetary policy of the central banks. They're flooding markets with easy money, low interest rates, they're printing money, and they're trying to inflate things. And they're trying to do that to get rid of their debt. And it's no surprise that a lot of that money goes into what's considered safe haven areas, like a stable economy like the Toronto market that's free of, there's not a lot of risk about natural disasters, not many terrorist things going on, not a lot of global upheaval. And, in Canada, we're considered relatively stable, kind of boring, but a lot of investors like it that way, right? That's why that's why the stock markets are up and all these things. People take all this extra money and they're putting in these things to get yield. That's what's happening. So the market increases that we're seeing, it should really be no surprise. I'm not saying we're going to be in Zimbabwe in 2008 when they had 62,000 or 58,000% inflation rate, but we're kind of in the middle right now someplace, and it's happening right before your eyes. So if you have some funds on the sidelines, you got to decide, hey, what do you want to do? Because you have to know that when you leave them on the sidelines, sometimes you lose out more to inflation than if you're invested in something that will hold its value. So I'm not saying that inflation is going to take off. I'm not saying it's not, but it's something that we consider every single day when we're looking at making our investment decisions. And that's why this sits here, so I can remind myself of what happens to the value of our dollars every day that the government's printing more and trying to flood the markets with more easy money. Ours go down, and part of our battle is to continue to try to have our dollars keep their value. So hopefully that's helpful. Until next time, your life, your terms.